All right, so it's been a while since I did a video. We've been on vacation and I've been a little bit sick, but I wanted to hop on here and just talk about why is the stock market going up? Because if you ask anybody I know, things are getting tougher, inflation's still high, you still have all these businesses that can't find workers. I mean, I had a lunch meeting today and we went to one restaurant and it switched to not being open Monday, Tuesdays. And then we tried another one, and even on the board it said it was open, but it was closed. And we went to this like random Mexican place. So um, it's very weird, right? Like, why would the stock market be having a rally when reality is, times seem to be getting harder than they were before? So you got to think about the stock market. The stock market doesn't represent today. The stock market represents where things will be in the future. Okay. And the stock market is also, I always describe it as like a very emotional teenager, right? So it always is overly negative, and it also can be very overly positive. So what happened this year so far was it was very, very negative. Um, there was no signs that inflation was slowing down. Everyone was worried. I mean, who knows who everyone is, but essentially they call it the market, right? It's a very vague term, but the market was worried that companies wouldn't be making as much money. And then every 3 months, a company that's listed on the stock market has to report how much money it made. And all of a sudden, a lot of companies are still making billions and billions of dollars, right? So then people go, well, okay, that's not too bad. Um, then what happened is now oil prices have come down, right? And commodity prices, so things like lumber and such, have become cheaper. So this week we get the newest inflation report. And every time I've been doing this like 16 years, I've never really cared as much as I do now about interest rate increases and the inflation report. So when the inflation report comes out, everyone's hoping that it's going to show inflation has gone down. That will be very, very good because the smart guys who keep telling us that they're going to keep raising interest rates have said that if inflation looks like it's coming down, then maybe they're going to relax on the amount of interest rate hikes they do. So everything right now is based off the fact that we think the next inflation report will be lower. If it's not lower, then that kicks the can down the road again. There'll be another big interest rate increase, and then we'll hope again, right? We'll be sitting there in the same boat going, oh, I really hope that this time inflation goes down. Inflation will go down. And the reason that inflation will go down is because inflation always looks back 12 months. So if you think about it, let's say you get a reading of 9% this month. Well, what are the odds that 12 months from now, it'll be 9% higher than today? Pretty low, right? So all of a sudden, if inflation is much lower in 12 months and you're comparing it to a really high inflation number, it will look much lower. I wouldn't be surprised if, in 2024, we get a negative inflation print. Just because of how these things work, you could actually have over a 12-month period, prices be lower than they were 12 months ago if we were in some sort of recession. So it's great that the market's up. I'm really happy about it because, all I really care about is my clients hitting their goals and moving forward with their dreams for retirement and such. But just so you know, the market does not match reality. That's why, if you really want to be a good investor, when everyone's telling you how much it sucks and everyone's saying they lost all their money and everyone's telling you it's the worst time to ever buy a stock or invest money, it's the best time to invest money because usually that means that the general feeling and reality is behind where the market's going to be because it's always forward looking, right? So just a little update there in terms of why things are going up. It could easily come back down if this inflation report's bad, but the thing is it's only going to go back down to where we were before. Like we hit it. I personally, don't take my advice because I'm not your advisor, but personally I think where we hit in July is the lowest it's going to be because that was when everyone thought it was the worst, right? And then it's not as bad, which always happens. there's never been a time where it hasn't been overestimated in terms of how good things are or how bad things are. And then we get back to some sort of reality. So hopefully the inflation shows it's coming down. In Canada, that's in the US. In Canada, we're in a totally different spot because the US made had 500,000 new jobs last month, and Canada just had its second month in a row of negative jobs. So again, I don't want to ramble on too long, but when you think about interest rates, Canada's looking a lot worse than the States, because if we don't have jobs being created and we're losing jobs, which is kind of weird because there's still job openings, that might mean that we'll get a U-turn in terms of interest rates, how high they're going to go in Canada. But who knows? Like I said, it's, every month we get to play this little game of, inflation roulette. So hopefully that's helpful. Have a good day. Thanks.